Welcome to the DVDs, the ultimate podcast for women over 40 who are ready to take control of their health, ditch the diets, and lose weight for good. Today's episode is about the dreaded dun 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 scale, that thing that drives us so crazy. So it's at that moment, you're eating better, you're moving more, you're doing all the right things, and then you step on the scale and it hasn't budged, or worse, it's gone up. What's going on? Why does it feel like you have all this effort and something's not working? And so today I'm going to break down body recomposition after 40, what it is, why the scale will absolutely lie to you, and how to finally measure progress in a way that doesn't destroy your confidence. Because measuring progress in a way that doesn't destroy your confidence at over 40, that's the name of the game right now. So if you're gaining muscle while losing fat, here's the truth. The number on this scale may not move at all. It just may not. If you can imagine, I wish I had props today. Sometimes I have props, but imagine I have a pound of fat. It's going to be roughly about that. And I have a pound of muscle, which is going to fit about in my hand, maybe go past my hand just a little bit. So you have your pound of fat, you have your pound of fat, you have your pound of muscle. If I am losing these, but gaining these, the scale is not going to change. It weighs the same because it's one form of measure. It not moving at all is actually a win. If you know you're doing all the right things, you are eating the proper amount of protein, you are getting your strength training in, you're hitting your steps, you're hitting your water, and the scale doesn't move, yay. That means you're doing it right. So after 40, it feels harder, and it is. It truly is, because hormones shift. Metabolism slows down because anytime your estrogen drops, your muscle naturally starts to drop more than it should. And now your metabolism has shifted. And we have to be way more intentional about how we train and how we fuel. So what does that look like? What does that look like for us to train and fuel? And you know what? Why does body recomposition matter? We don't really talk about this enough and understand what it is. You'll see somebody on TikTok, or a really good example is a friend of mine named Katie Lifts. If you follow Katie Lifts, you are one of my favorite people because she's one of my favorite content creators. But Katie Lifts, she always talks about, if you talk to her and you spend time with her, she weighs around 175, 180 all the time. And she's about 5'4". A lot of us would think that that's too much weight, but she's in great shape. She doesn't have like a really high body fat percentage. Her body fat percentage is really low. She's competed before, so that means her body fat was really, really low, probably under 14% for a female. You have to stop letting a cheap piece of bathroom plastic or glass tell you what you're worth. You have to. And Katie is all about that as well. But I think all of us as coaches are. If a coach is not teaching body recomposition and you are a woman over 40, run away as quickly as possible, because he's about to destroy your muscle and ultimately your metabolism and your bones. And we don't want that. We want you to feel strong. We want you to feel good at this age. And so body recomposition, the small definition, is losing fat while gaining muscle. Scale doesn't change, but you've lost fat, but you've gained muscle. There's a great video that I put out, a great reel that I put out, where I have a grapefruit on the table and an orange, and a pound of fat is roughly the size of a grapefruit, and a pound of muscle is roughly the size of an orange. And so if you lose a pound of fat but you gain a pound of muscle, does your scale change? No, it doesn't change. But that is what body recomp is. That is what it is. It matters because muscle is your metabolism. It matters because muscle protects your bones. It matters because it helps balance our hormones, and it literally reshapes your body. If you've wanted to look toned, you want muscle. Someone who is toned has muscle. We don't want to be skinny. We want to be toned. In other words, we want muscle. We want to recomposition our bodies. So imagine your body as a suitcase. As a suitcase, you are taking out heavy sweaters, which would be your fat, and you are putting in fitted dresses. So you're taking out 6 sweaters, but you're putting in 6 fitted dresses. The weight of the suitcase may stay the same, but the contents are completely different. They probably don't weigh that different, but when you open the suitcase, there's so much more space. You can stuff probably the 6 sweaters back in, and everything will still fit in the suitcase. That's how it looks. That's what's happening with our bodies. We're taking out sweaters and we're putting back in fitted dresses. So it's important to remember that as you go along in your journey. So body recomposition is what's going to make you feel good while you're losing weight. The other reason why the scale lies after 40 is that Water retention is part of life when you're a female, period. End of story. It is to some degree if you're a male as well. But women, when it's time for your period, which, some women in their 50s are still having their period, right? That can be a 10-pound gain in a matter of days, and then a 10-pound loss in a matter of days. You didn't gain fat, though. It's a water fluctuation. Your body also uses blood to repair muscles. So if you're sore, your water retention is going to be up because your body is utilizing that. If you are dehydrated, the body's going to store extra water. So you're going to have some water retention. Water retention, hormones, sleep, sodium, stress, anywhere from 2 to 5 pounds fluctuation like this, like the stock market, is totally normal. That's not fat. So you can't get upset at the scale changing. In fact, I constantly am having to say to my clients, please weigh in every day. Please weigh in every day, because that data tells me where your weight is. And honestly, they have a up. Their weight's actually here on the bottom dot, not here at the top. This is a water fluctuation, especially if it's been every day and this one pops up and then it's all over. This bottom number is where it's at, and that's the one I'm looking for. If the bottom one is trending up for too long of a period of time, then we might have to change something. A lot of times it means adding calories in rather not taking them out, though. The hormones shifting are cortisol, estrogen, and progesterone. Those will all affect your water balance and your fat storage. So if you are running in a high stress life, in a high stress world, it's really important that you make yourself aware of that and figure out how you can pull down the tension, or get really good at meditating, or get really good at leaving whatever is stressful for you where it is when you go home at night. Okay. Hopefully your home life is not stressful. If that's the case, it's okay to make a change there too. Muscle density is, it's important to remember that muscle takes up less space than fat, but it weighs more by volume. So that's why something tinier is going to weigh just as much as something bigger and fluffier. That is why it feels like you're not moving on the scale, but your clothes fit better. You know what I mean? So the scale doesn't measure fat loss, it measures gravity. Literally, that's all that it measures. And that's not the same thing as progress. So don't get it twisted, okay? How to track real progress. Progress photos. Every 4 weeks, my divas are required to do photos. They're required to do measurements, waist, hips, thighs, shoulders, arms, those things done monthly. Every 4 weeks we do photos, or every 4 weeks we do measurements. I also have a body fat analyzer that measures their body fat as well. Those are not super expensive to purchase. You can purchase them at Amazon. That's a great thing to have. That's another form of measurement. Progress photos, so that you have a side by side where you're facing front, where you're facing side, where you're facing back. Try to have it in the same outfit. Try to have it in the same light. Take it at the same time of day. Take it from the same angle. I will have so many divas take it like from here and then up here, and I really need it to be done at the same angle so that I can truly see what's happening. Make sure that you're wearing as little clothes as possible. I'm not telling you to be naked, but I can't see your back fat if you're wearing a tent for a shirt. You know what I mean? And the back fat's around your heart too. Also, just making sure that you're paying attention to those daily wins. So, can you lift heavier dumbbells? That's a big win. That is progress. Can you do more reps? Do you have to rest less? Not having to take a nap every day post hysterectomy was huge for me, because that was like, that was a must. I had to rest every single day. I had to take a nap at about 2 or 3 o'clock every single day after I had my hysterectomy. Otherwise, I couldn't even get through the rest of my day. And when I felt my worst and at my heaviest and I didn't feel well, I had to take a nap every day as well. So less rest, needing less rest, that's a big win. So make sure that you're tracking that. Those are real progress. That is a real win. Walking up and down stairs without huffing. I will not say that that's me. I definitely huff up and down the stairs. But I can go up and down the stairs all day long. I just hate it. I just hate stairs. I just hate them. Carrying around your groceries a little bit easier. Picking up stuff at the grocery store. Stuff that maybe in the past were just like, oh, I couldn't do that. It was too hard for me. Opening jars, opening bottles of water, things like that. You have to gauge, like, where have you actually made progress? Are you paying attention to that? If you judged your finances by only what's in your checking account, you'd miss the investments that are growing in the background. Progress is more than just one number. It's the full picture of what's actually going on with you. All right, what works for recomposition is really important to notate this and make sure that you implement this. Strength train 3 times a week. And when you strength train, really strength train. Focus on progressive overload. What does that mean? You are lifting heavy enough that you actually hit failure or really close to failure by the end of the reps that you are doing. It is not endless cardio. It is not thousands of reps. It's heavy enough weight to actually progressively overload the muscle group. It's making sure that you're getting protein at every single meal, 30 grams at every single meal, breakfast snack, lunch snack, dinner snack. Hitting those protein goals. Anchor every meal with protein to support your muscle so that you don't lose more muscle. And you know what? This is hard for us in Generation X, but consistency beats perfection every single time. You don't need to be perfect. You need to keep showing up. If it was about being perfect, I would not be a coach because I'm definitely not perfect and have walked through setbacks myself. And then one that's also hard for us, making sure that you're getting sleep and recovery, because muscle doesn't grow in the gym, it grows in recovery. Did you realize that? It grows in making sure you're eating enough food. It grows in making sure you're getting enough rest and you're not destroying it with high stress situations all the time. And then you know what? Get your head straight, y'all. Get your head straight. Stop expecting 10 pounds to drop really fast because recomposition is slower, but it lasts. So fat loss is like a sprint. Fat loss is like a sprint. Body recomposition is like a marathon. Marathons can change your life, where a sprint won't make any difference in the long run. So here's what I want you to know. You're not failing. You're not failing. You're never failing. You are building something better. You are building something better than a scale will ever offer you. You're building something better than a smaller number on a scale. You're building strength. You are building confidence. You are building energy. And you are building a body that actually works for you 40, 50, 60, beyond that. That is what we want. We want to feel the best that we possibly can. So just, when we did this house remodel, it's kind of like remodeling the house, and we're adding this porch to it, and we took out a wall and added a door. You don't just slap on a new coat of paint and call it done. You actually rebuild the foundation. You make sure that this deck is something where there are 4 of us standing on it right now with all of this equipment on it as well. We want to make sure that it is something that's going to last for the next 40 years. Your body is the same way. We're not just trying to lose 10 pounds. We're trying to completely change what is happening with our body from the inside out so that we are a different person, a different woman on the other side of that. So if this episode hit home for you, you are looking for a coach, seriously looking for a coach, message me the word ready. You can find me on Instagram at Danya Powers EC. You can find me on TikTok at Danya Powers EC, on Facebook at Danya Powers. And you can also catch me on my website, www.empowerdcoaching.com. And let's build a plan that actually works with your hormones, with your lifestyle, and with this stage of life. Because your scale isn't broken, neither are you. And you just need a smarter strategy. You just need a simple plan that's going to work for your season of life. And always, until next time, stay strong, stay consistent, and stay fabulous, my divas. Thanks for tuning into this latest episode of the Diva Deets. If this helped you and you found it valuable, share it with a friend who needs to hear it. Ready for more support? Join my free Facebook community or join my coaching community. The details are in the show notes. Don't forget to subscribe, and until next time, stay strong, stay consistent, and stay fabulous, my divas.